welcome to my kitchen. I normally don't tell the date, but today is January 27th and my daughter informed me that it's National Chocolate Cake Day. So, going to make a chocolate cake, a real easy chocolate cake, and it doesn't even have eggs or oil in it because the star of this cake is mayonnaise. Okay, let's get started. So you're gonna have your mixer in a bowl first, though. We're gonna combine our dry ingredients. So first we're going to have 6 heaping tablespoons of cocoa powder into the bowl, 3 cups of all-purpose flour right in there, 1 tablespoon of baking soda, not baking powder, you want baking soda. Sprinkle that in there. 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1½ cups of granulated sugar. Just stick it all in there. A lot of recipes say to sift. I hate sifting. I don't sift. And I've never had a problem. I take a whisk and I just combine the ingredients that way. Some bakers might argue with me, but I don't care because my cakes all come out just fine, sifting or not sifting. The only thing I will sift is if I'm making a macaron. You have to sift that flour, but that's different. We're not doing that today. And those are difficult in their own sense, but whisking to me, I think it's the equivalent to sifting. I get the same result. Like I said, my opinion. There you go. All of the ingredients, the dry ingredients, are combined. So easy to make a cake. Now your oven will be preheating at 350, and you could get your pans ready too. This recipe is for 2 8-inch round, but I want to make a little basket cake today, so I'm using my oval pans. They're smaller, so I am going to have batter left over, but I'm going to use that for something else, make a little thing. And you can grease and lightly flour or save yourself a ton of time and get this. It's a luxury for me. Just going to spray your pans just like that. Set them aside. Okay, pans are ready. See, it takes 2 seconds. You don't got to do all that tapping and wiping. Just spray it. Okay, so now in my stand mixer, I'm going to get the other ingredients going. So that is 1½ cup of mayonnaise, not Miracle Whip, mayonnaise. Stick it right in there. And if you say you don't like mayonnaise and you're going, ew, mayonnaise in a cake, mayonnaise is eggs and oil. So this is just saving a step. So if you don't have any eggs, but you have mayonnaise, you can make a cake. Simple as that. Okay, we got all our mayo in there. Then I'm going to add 1½ teaspoon of vanilla extract. Stick that right in there. And 1½ cup of cold water. Right in. Now you don't want to over mix once you get your dry in there, so I'm going to mix this on low because it will splash if you try to go a little bit higher, just to get it all blended in. And once it's all mixed in, I'm going to be slowly adding the dry ingredients to that. Easy, easy, easy. And my oven is preheated. I do turn this up a little bit. I just want this mixed up so it's not clumpy or anything. Check it. Yeah, it's still a little clumpy. Just get that going for a minute. something. They didn't have eggs, but they had mayonnaise, which, I don't know, figure that one out. Anyways, it's a good cake. It's real chocolatey. And you could even, sometimes I'll put a tablespoon of instant coffee in there if you want it real chocolatey, but I'm not going to do that today. But if you're a die-hard chocolate, you might like that. So, okay. This is all mixed up. Let's check it again. Okay. Now, I'm just going to slowly get some of this going in here. So, and don't turn this on high because you're going to have a whole mess up here if you do. Cocoa blast. So just go low until it gets going. I have a guard that goes on here, and you can put the dry stuff right down the little spout. I don't bother with that. It's one more thing to wash, so I don't even do that. Add a little more. It's getting chocolatey in there. There we go. We're getting there to batter consistency. I'm being careful not to overmix because I'll mix at the end with my spoon. And you don't need a mixer to do this. You could do this by hand, or if you have an electric mixer, doesn't matter. Whatever works best for you. That's my thing. Whatever makes it easy for you. Makes it for easy for me is different for you. All right, batter's coming together. Just have just have this last bit to put in there. That's it. Okay. Give it one more quick whirl, and then I'll go in there with the spoon. And you want to scrape down the sides, because otherwise you're going to have some batter that didn't get mixed properly, and that's not going to taste good in your cake. So, okay. It's nice and chocolatey. I don't have anyone here to lick the batter, but you know what? There are people who are afraid of raw eggs and cake batter. Guess what? You can lick this one, because look, it's mayonnaise. There's no raw eggs in here. Oh, so good. If you love chocolate cake, trust me, you will love this cake. Okay, so I'm gonna let you see. This is how easy it is to make a cake. Cake batter consistency. There you go. See it? Okay. So I check the bottom of the bowl. All of it, and we're not whipping, we're just getting it all incorporated. We don't want to over whip, because then that's what makes a not so good cake. So I'm going to take my two little pans. Now remember, I said this would be normally for an 8-inch, so whatever batter I have left, I'll be doing something else with that. But if you were using 8-inch pans, you probably wouldn't have any batter left. And I like to measure because I like my layers even. Weird like that. I could cut them to make them even, but why? It's another step. Now I am a cake decorator. I have my own little bakery, and I normally don't reveal my cake baking secrets, but this is a freebie. Get my chocolate cake recipe. Okay, and I'm just trying to get these about halfway full. And sometimes I'll just dump it in, but I want them to be exact. So that's why for baking purposes, I'm trying to get the exact amount in. Some things you can't eyeball. cooking, you can, but baking, a lot of things have to be precise, because if they aren't, well, you're gonna have problems. Okay, that looks about right. I've got them both about halfway full. See in there? See them both? And then spread it around a little. And I don't know why. I took home ec when I was in 7th grade, I think. I don't remember, 6th, 7th grade. And all I remember on the cake baking, the teacher told us to push it out to the side. That way you wouldn't get that dome. I've done that ever since. And it really does work for the most part. I don't know, it's weird how you remember something like that. So I do give them a couple taps. You can't see it in the video, but some air bubbles popped up through there. That's, you want to get those out of there too. You can just see them spreading right around. Okay, so here are my chocolate cakes. They're going into the oven. For this size pan, it's probably going to take about 25 minutes. So 25 minutes at 350, and then we'll be back when they come out. Okay, so it's National Chocolate Cake Day. We've baked this chocolate cake at about 33 minutes. It did take a little bit longer. The recipe says about 30, but these were about 33. So you take a toothpick or a fancy cake tester like I have and poke it in there. Comes out clean. Perfect. Okay. So I've had these in the pan for about 5 minutes or so. Just gonna flip them out right onto your, I wanted to show you quick too, the thing when you use mayonnaise, I'm really not gonna have to level this cake off. It comes out nice and flat. I don't know if it's that or the technique of spreading it to the side, but it comes out flat. So you're just gonna flip those over, and now these are going to cool completely. I've seen people make a disaster with a cake. They want to frost it too fast, and frosting cannot go on even a slightly warm cake. It can't. And while these were baking, I did whip up a batch of chocolate buttercream. And this is real chocolatey. You're not going to get the recipe for that though, because that's my secret recipe. Can't give you that one. You'll find your own. So we'll have that for later. We'll come back and I'll show you a couple frosting techniques to make your cakes a little bit nicer than just basic frosting. You can do basic frosting, but why? When you can learn real quick how to do a little simple technique, and it's going to be a basket weave and some rosettes. And while these are cooling, because coffee and chocolate go together, this is cold brew iced coffee with a splash of Irish cream. Catch you in a little bit. Okay, so with this cake, I did not have to level it. I filled it with, I put the flat side down, top up, filled it with about a half a cup of the chocolate buttercream that I made, put the top on with the bottom up, so it's a nice flat surface, and I lightly frosted it because we're going to be covering all of this up, but you need a base to start with. So it's called crumb coat, and that's what I've done. And then I took a toothpick, and I don't know if you can see, I'll get it up a little bit closer, and I made straight lines about this far apart. This is going to be a basket weave, and that's what basket weave's going to look like. And I'll show you quick on the plate how you do it. You're going to use your piping bag with Wilton tip number 47. It has a serrated edge on one side and a flat side on the other, but you can do your basket weave with whatever, but I like the serrated side because it's makes it prettier, gives it more of a design. So the serrated side is going to be up. So to make a basket weave, so we had the line on the cake, we would start with a line and then come over, and you're skipping spots, and then you're going to make another line down. This is why it makes it nice to have the lines onto the cake, and you're going to come over that, lift up, come over, make another line, and you're just going to do this right around the whole cake, and that's it. That's a basket weave. So, and I like to start on the back because that's where it will come back to. So that way, usually the last seam part you can see, but it'll be on the back. So starting here, let me see if I can get a good angle so you can see what I'm doing here. So my serrated side is what I want to show. So follow the line. Start over at that line to that line. That line to that line. And you just keep going. You don't have to worry about the bottom because we're going to have a border down there. So then you come to that line and you come up. And you don't have to really worry about the top either because a little border is going to be up there as well. So have your paper towel ready, unlike me, because you want to wipe off every now and then. So now we've got these little squares. You're going to come inside there and come over, back over to that other line. It's something that looks so hard and complicated and pretty, but it's really, really, really easy. And the first couple times it's weird knowing how to start the weave, but once you get going, there you go. And that's that. Okay, so I'm just gonna finish weaving my basket. Okay, so once you get it all woven, then you're going to just take a peek around, and there you might see a couple spots that you just want to fill them in just a little. You'll see them right away, but you don't have to worry about the bottom because, like I said, that's going to have a border of its own down there. And there you go. There's a basket weave chocolate frosted cake. And now we're going to do roses on top, and then we're going to move on to the border. So in this piping bag, I have Wilton tip 1M, and this is going to be to make rosettes. Okay, so on your cake board, you always want to know where your back of your cake is going to be. And now this, I did it a little bit more to the back so I don't have to kind of remember the back side, because I knew that I'd left space here because I want to write something there. So get started on the rosette, and this is the easiest way to make a rose, so frosting rose, without doing the tip and all of that stuff. So you're just gonna, just like that, if you can see it on there. It doesn't really do it good on the plate, but it'll do it on the cake. And I'm gonna do a whole basket, so you just start and go around. Now some people, they take, I don't have one over here at the moment, tip, and they make the circle, but I'm not gonna do that. We're just gonna have scattered flowers all around. So I'm just gonna start here. And I'm just working my way around, and I come off the edge a little bit because that's covering up the top part of that basket weave. So we're just coming around, doing the whole edge first, and you hold your bag at an upright position like this. You just get going around. And that's it. So that's that, but I'm still going to fill in the middle part. So I kind of go in the middle of one of those. And just keep, this is a lot of frosting. This is chocolatey, but it's National Chocolate Cake Day, so you wouldn't expect anything less. Okay. And then if you see a little space, you're not going to make another rose, you're just going to kind of just use the tip and fill it in there. Okay, so there is, you can see it on there, the rose top. Okay, we're not going to be doing anything too fancy to this, no sprinkles, nothing like that. So I'm going to now change my tip, because I'm going to do a little border around the bottom. I can get this off of here. So you just change it out, and it's good to use this little coupler in here because that way you don't, if you're using the same color or the same frosting, you just stay with the same bag. Okay, so I may want, I'm trying to think what kind of border I want on here. And I play around on the plate for a minute just so I can, before I get to it. Let's see what I want to do. I think I'm just going to take it and go around like a, kind of like a rope. So again, start at the back. And you just go up, down, all the way around. It kind of looks like a little rope design down there. Or if you have, you can do whatever. You could do stars down there. can do whatever. Whatever makes you happy, you can do it. And this goes pretty fast if you have a turntable. Okay, so my little border is on there. I'm going to change the tip out one more time. Oh, and this tip was tip number 21. Just makes like a little shell star design. And I'm getting one more tip. And this one is just tip number 5, a writing tip. Put that on there. I like to make sure nothing's on my board. Put a little more of this chocolate buttercream in here. Yeah, it gets all over your hands. Makes a mess. We don't need a whole lot because we're just writing. You could put fondant letters on here, but this is just a quick. So it's National Chocolate Cake Day. I'm just writing on here. Okay, let's see, and that's it. There you have a chocolate cake with some fancy little rosettes on top. And this is chocolate buttercream, a chocolate cake, and you can't get much more chocolatey than that. Happy National Chocolate Cake Day.